Hey guys, Mrs. Sapanoff here coming at you with another First Chapter Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'll be reading the first chapter of A List of Cages. This is a great book. This is kind of like a thriller mixed with realistic fiction, little parts of mystery and whatnot too. It's awesome. It's about a high school senior. His name is Adam. And Adam is, for one of his like elective courses, it's like an encore class. He is the assistant to the school psychologist, and he loves it because he just gets to kind of hang out. And he ends up having to like do some administrative work and has to find this one student because the school psychologist has been trying to get in touch with them. And it ends up being this foster brother of his that he hadn't seen in years. And it's kind of about their relationship and that reunification and things like that. So, A List of Cages, Chapter 1. This first chapter is told from the perspective of Julian, the foster brother. There is a room in the school that no one knows about but me. If I could teleport, I'd be there now. Maybe if I just concentrate. Julian, Mr. Pierce says, my name's sharp enough to make me flinch. You're less than a month into high school, and you've missed your English class 6 times. I'm sure I've missed more than that, but I guess no one realized I was gone. The principal leans forward, 2 fists wrapped around his tall, twisted cane. It has a little creature carved at the top, and I've heard other kids talk about it, wondering if it's a gnome or troll or a tiny replica of Mr. Pierce himself. This close, I can see the resemblance. Look at me, he shouts. I'm not sure why people want you to look at them when they're angry with you. That's when you want to look away the most. But when I do what he says, the windowless office seems to shrink, and I shrink along with it. A microscopic boy underneath Mr. Pierce's gaze. It'd be a lot easier for you to look someone in the eye if you got a haircut. He glares harder when I start pushing the hair out of my face. Why haven't you been going to class? I I clear my throat. I don't like it. What was that? People are always telling me to repeat myself or speak up. The main reason I don't like English is because Miss Cross makes everyone read out loud, and when it's my turn, I stumble over my words and she tells me I'm too quiet. Knowing this, I pitch my voice a little louder. I don't like it. Mr. Pierce lifts his 2 gray brows, looking completely stunned. Do you really think that not liking the class is reason not to go? I, for everyone else, talking just seems to come naturally. When someone says something, they automatically know what to say back. But for me, it's as if the pathway between my brain and mouth is damaged, like a rare form of paralysis. I can't speak, so instead I fiddle with the plastic tip of my shoelace. Answer my question. Is not liking the class a good reason not to go? I know what I think, but people don't want you to say what you think. They want you to say what they think. And knowing what that is isn't easy. The principal rolls his eyes. Look at me, young man. I look up into his flushed face. He grimaces and I wonder if his knee or back is hurting him, the way they always seem to be. I'm sorry, I tell him, and his whole face softens. Then all of a sudden, his bushy brows come together and he slaps open a file folder with my name on it. I should call your parents. My shoelace slips from my frozen fingers. His lip curls into a smile. You know what does my heart good? I manage to shake my head. Seeing that particular look of fear cross the student's face when I say I'm going to call home. He lifts his phone to his ear. He and his little wooden monster watch me as the seconds tick by. Then slowly, he pulls the phone away. I suppose I don't have to call if you promise that I'll never see you in here again. I promise. Then get to class. Out in the hall, I try to breathe, but I'm still shaky the way you'd be if you were nearly clipped by a speeding car, but you leaped out of the way at the very last second. When I enter child development, all the girls lift their heads like a herd of deer sensing danger. Then, the second they see me, they look away as if I were never there at all. Since I'm late, I have to stand in front while Miss Carlyle glares at my tardy slip. Even though no one is looking at me, I can't stop thinking that my hair is too long, and my jeans are too short, and my shirt is too small, and everything I'm wearing is ugly and worn. I already marked you absent, Miss Carlyle sighs. She's probably even older than Mr. Pierce, with hair that might have been blonde and eyes that might have been bright blue before she faded like a photograph. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I know the new online attendance system is stressful for her because she tells us almost every day. I'm sorry, I say. It's fine. She slumps, her posture weary. I'll take care of it. As I'm heading to my seat in the back, the only other boy in class, Jared, waves to get my attention. I'll see you on the bus today, right? He says. I don't answer. Miss Carlisle announces that we have to complete the assignments in groups, so everyone shouts the name of the people they want and they pull their desks into circles. I'm probably the only person in the school who hates it when the teacher lets us choose our own groups. I lower my head to my desk, close my eyes. I used to think that if I concentrated, I could make myself disappear. I don't exactly believe that anymore, but sometimes I still have to try. Julian, Miss Carlisle says, you are really pushing it today. Find a group. I glance around at the ones that have formed, a tight, anxious knot in my stomach. Just join the group closest to you. Closest to me is Kristen, a girl who looks a little bit like a goldfish with her orange hair and bulging eyes. She sends me a bruising glare, and I feel like I'm wearing a defective invisibility cloak, a device that works perfectly until I do something stupid. I met Kristen at the beginning of school this year. In first period, she tapped my shoulder and asked if I was reading Elian Mariner book. I nodded, weary because no one ever starts conversations with me. But when she asked what it was about, my words just spilled out. Yes, it was an Elian Mariner book, probably my favorite in the entire series. Kristen kept nodding and asking questions, and she said her sister loved those books, and then she added, my sister's 7. When everyone around us started laughing, I hid the book in my backpack. It wasn't until my next class that I noticed it was missing. In my sixth period, I was returning from sharpening my pencil, and there it was, sitting on my chair. I opened it to find that every illustration had been desecrated with black Sharpie. Eyes stinging, I looked up to find the entire class just watching me. I caught Kristen's fish eyes in the crowd. Then she fell headfirst into her desk, shaking with laughter. Julian, Miss Carlisle calls out, move. I quickly drag my desk to join the girls. So, Violet, Jen, Kristen says, should we split things up? I pretend not to notice that she's excluding me and open my textbook. Okay, Violet answers. Juliet, do you want to? I want a good grade on this, Kristen interrupts her. Let's just divide it between us. Violet doesn't answer, and I keep pretending that I can't hear. So that was chapter 1 of A List of Cages. This is a really great new book, and you can check it out in our library.